Well, hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back. Thanks for joining. Today I have my full review of the Saucony Triumph 18. Alright, so like all the reviews on my channel, this is 100% my own opinion. I bought these shoes with my own money. Nobody is telling me what to say. My first impressions video came out a couple weeks ago, but now I've had the chance to run quite a bit in these shoes, and I've got over 100 miles, about 110 miles in these shoes. And I'll tell you, just like right off the bat, they feel really similar to when I pulled them out of the box. So that's really impressive. Just to throw a few stats at you again, if you haven't seen that first impressions video, the heel is a 32mm stack height and the forefoot is a 24mm stack height. So that is a 8mm drop. And with all of that foam, that actually means that this shoe is not that light of a shoe. Running Warehouse website lists this size 9 as 11.3 ounces. When I weighed it, my size 11.5, it was 13.1 ounces. I would consider this as more of like a maximum kind of shoe because it's just like it's not a light shoe at all. So we'll get that out of the way right away. As far as the size goes, I didn't have to size up or down. 11.5 is my normal size, and these fit perfectly as soon as I put them on. In my first impressions video, I did mention that there was a couple hot spots on my first run, like right on the inside of the toe, right where the first metatarsal meets the toe, and then a tiny bit on the pinky toe. But honestly, after the first run, like that never came up again. And I think what it was just this little bit of a toe cap that's kind of inside here, breaking it in just a little bit. But yeah, after that first 10-mile run, never showed up again, and these shoes are very, very comfortable. As of right now, I'm not going to have like a scoring system, I don't think. Maybe I'll do some sort of like star rating, but I'm going to be looking at this through the lens of what I believe the shoe was made for, and then how it performs kind of within that set of criteria. So starting off, this shoe is definitely made for those recovery runs, long miles. It's a plush shoe. Like, you know when you go to like a hotel and it's like a really nice hotel and there's like 20 pillows on the bed and the comforter is like 12 inches thick? Well, like that's what this shoe is. Like it's like the hotels where you want to just stay inside the whole time. A lot of my runs in this shoe were in between like 6 and 10 miles, but I did put a 20 miler in. Honestly, like I felt like I could keep going. Like it was just, there was no issues during that whole time. It's so plush, it's so comfortable, so much padding, and it really honestly should feel like that based off of the price and the amount of padding that's in here, the amount of cushion. This shoe is definitely meant for, like I said, those recovery runs, those days where your pace, maybe your time isn't as important. Maybe it's kind of the off season, or just maybe it's a long, slow day. Okay, so let's get into the review. In this one, I'm going to talk about 4 things. We're going to talk about fit, ride, performance, appeal, and then I'll let you know what I think the deal is on the Saucony Triumph 18. So first up, fit. The sizing was great. I didn't have to go up or down at all. 11.5 fit me just perfectly. So this whole shoe, when you're wearing it, it just feels super, super comfy. Even after 100 miles, like none of this has really started to break down at all. It just feels pretty much the same as when I first started wearing this shoe. But along with all of that padding and cushion comes a little bit of an insecure feeling at sometimes. Like I feel like I have to really crank these laces down tight. So there is a lot of give in here. So that's just something to know. Like the first time you put these shoes on, just get them a little bit tighter than you think maybe you need to, and then it's going to give a lot as you run. Next, let's talk about ride of the shoe. I feel like the energy return on this shoe was okay. Easy run, tight pace. I felt like what I was putting into the shoe, I was getting a good amount of energy back. Like it just felt really good, felt really nice. When I started to push the pace down closer to like 6 minutes per mile and below, I felt like it was a little bit squishy, and definitely like was feeling that weight when I started going kind of that quick. I'll be really interested to try more from Saucony with this Power Run Plus, but with a lighter shoe. I feel like maybe that was kind of holding this shoe back just a little bit. All right, now let's talk about performance of the Triumph 18. As far as what this shoe was made for, I think it performs really well. As I've said multiple times already, I think this shoe was made for those recovery days, kind of long, slow distance, when you just are trying to put in the miles and be good to your body and not beat yourself up You don't need to go super fast. You don't need to do anything technical. So with that in mind, I think the performance of this shoe is really good. Speeding up and slowing down, it wasn't anything special, but I was able to get up to speeds where I felt like I was going pretty quick. I was able to slow down easy enough. The only times that I did feel kind of unstable was taking really quick corners. And I think a lot of that has to do with just how plush this upper is and the stack height. The 32 millimeters in the back, you are pretty far off the ground there. And then even with the 24 in the front, you're not super connected to the ground. Like you're kind of like riding above it, just kind of like on this really squishy material. And so there are some drawbacks there. I think this shoe performs just fine in bad weather. I took it out in some snow and ice, and the grip was just fine running through like several inches of snow, onto ice, onto pavement, and it was warm enough for winter running. I think that would probably get pretty hot in the summer though, just because of how much material is up here. But I just have a feeling that maybe when it's really, really hot, this could probably pose a little bit of a problem of being maybe like a hot shoe. And with these shoe reviews, I always want to let you know what I think the best use for a specific shoe is. And so for this Saucony Triumph 18, I think it's definitely going to be a shoe that a lot of people will use for half marathons and marathons if this is one of the only shoes in your rotation. If you have a lot of shoes and you have a whole lot of pick between like more speed shoes and more recovery shoes, this is going to be kind of like the long, slow days. But for those of you that are out there, and I know that a lot of people are in this situation where you can maybe only afford to have one pair of shoes, this is going to be a great option. I'm at 110 miles and I don't feel this shoe breaking down at all. Like it feels, I'm not kidding when I say that it feels pretty much the same as when I pulled it out of the box. So I'm pretty comfortable that this shoe will get 300, 400, 500 miles depending on what type of a runner you are. Now, if you have some problem areas and you really wear down certain spots of your shoe, like just like any other shoe out there, like this is gonna wear down. But there's so much padding here that even if it does start wearing down a little bit, you're gonna be able to use this shoe for a long time. And the last thing I wanna go over is the appeal of the shoe. That's something that I think is important. As a mid-pack runner, I'm not out there winning races at all. So I wanna actually like maybe look good while I'm out there running. So the appeal of the shoe, how it makes you feel when you put it on, does it make you want to run? I really like it. The flashy colors, this red, is it red? Orange? Is it pink? Who knows? Like it's kind of right there in between. I think some people will probably see it differently, especially on video versus actually in person. I just really like the appeal of this shoe. When I put it on, it feels good. It makes me want to run, and I like the look of it a lot. Over time, the shoe has developed a little bit of a crease right here, so that's kind of taking away a little bit from the appeal, like because it kind of looks like it's breaking down just a little bit. But overall, the shoe looks really good, and I feel really good when I'm wearing it. Okay, final thoughts. What's the deal? The price? Who's it for? I'm really kind of struggling with this because it's $150, and that's really hard to recommend a $150 pair of shoes to somebody, especially when it is so much in one category of a recovery shoe. But I do think that this is going to last a long time. If you're someone that has 10 different pairs of shoes, like a specific shoe for each type of workout that you do, like this might be just a little bit too much money. But if you're someone that uses one pair of shoes for every type of run and you need that shoe to last for 6 months to a year, like this is probably going to be a good option for you. So I'll leave it at that. I was really impressed with the shoe. I liked it a lot. I'm going to keep it in my rotation for my recovery days, for my really long days. If I need to do a 20 miler or farther, this is definitely going to be the shoe that I have in my rotation right now that will take me that distance. I really enjoyed this shoe, and I'm excited to see what else Saucony has to offer. There's a lot of other shoes that are looking really cool from Saucony, and I'm excited to get them on my feet because these performed really well, and I had a good time testing them out. So with that said, thank you so much for watching. If you've run in these shoes before and you liked them or didn't like them, leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. I'm really interested to see what other people think of this shoe. If you have a specific shoe that you want me to test out, definitely leave it in the comments down below. I have my next one picked out. It's actually back here. You actually can't see it. It's hidden behind this shoe, so you'll have to stay tuned and find out what that one is. But I'm going to start testing that out tomorrow. I'm very excited. But yeah, if you have a shoe that you want me to test out, let me know down below what it is, and I'll see if I can pick it up. Hope you you found this informative and useful, and maybe this helped you decide whether or not you should pick up the Saucony Triumph 18. With that said, thank you so much for joining, and I will see you again soon. Bye.